on 9 o'clock. It's time for us to start our meeting. This is the meeting of the Standing Committee of Public Accounts of the Provincial Government of the Western Cape for purposes of looking into the agenda that has been sent and distributed to all of us. Let me make use of the opportunity to welcome all of you honorable members, as well as the members of the staff that will be assisting us during this meeting. This is the Zoom meeting, and therefore the rules that are actually governing the virtual meetings of the Provincial Parliament will apply. If I may just get an indication, Mr. Davids, are there any apologies that you might have received?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honourable members. Chair, there was no apologies, Chair, but just to notify yourself and the committee chairperson that there was a resignation from that was ATC'd on Monday from Honourable Kleho and Honourable Bakaya Botya. So we're just waiting to hear, Chair, via ATC will be the new scoper members from the EFF component chairperson, but no other apologies were received, Chair. And then also, sorry, Chair, for Honourable van der Westhuizen has been substituted by Honourable Saleko chairperson for the scoper from here with onwards.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davids. Also, honorable members, for record purposes, as we are about to start, can I just get an indication of honorable members that are present in the meeting for record purposes?
Good morning, Chairperson Matloli Maseko, member of the Standing Committee.
Thank you, honorable.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning, colleagues. Derek America, member of the committee. Okay.
Good morning, Chair. Member Sileku. Thank you very much.
Honorable Ngondo.
Chairperson, I think that there's connection problems.
Oh, there she
goes. Alternate member to Scopa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable member. Now, honorable members, if we could then go to the agenda, as it has been circulated to all of us, I'm now going to hand over to Mr. David to lead us with the next item.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, honourable members. I just want to get my bearings in order, Chair. Chair, are you able to see the draft committee report, Chair?
Not yet. I don't know about other members.
Okay,
Yes, it was
I can see that.
Okay, there we go. There we go, Chair.
Yeah, I can see it.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, honourable members. Chair and honourable members, so this is basically just our, as has been circulated yesterday, Chair. Chair, this is just the draft committee report, Chair, of the committee for its meetings that the committee had during the 13 departmental annual report meetings, Chairperson. If you want me to go through it, Chairperson, and then if the members are willing for me just to go through it, Chairperson, and basically just to talk, just give a highlight of the resolutions that the committee made as it was captured, etc., Chairperson.
No problem. Please.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Okay, Chair, so here we have, Chairperson, I'm just highlighting on top that we had 13 departmental meetings for the 2021-22 annual reports of these departments, Chair. And then number two, The departments, let me just make this a little bit bigger, Chair. The departments that report to the Public Accounts Committee, Chair. These are all the departments that we have, Chairperson, and then the entities as well, Chair. As you can remember, under 3.4, Chair, we had the Atlantis Special Economic Zone Company. It was the first time that they presented to the committee their annual report last year, Chairperson. So that's a newly added entity for SCOPA to oversight over, Chair. Chair, as the committee members last year during October and February, early February, formulated transversal departmental resolutions, Chairperson. And if you can remember, Chair, at the end of all of our meetings, Chair, and even in the meetings, and especially with the Auditor General and the Audit Committee, there was a discussion on the triple BEE, Chairperson, about the prescripts, the certification costs, etc., etc. And then there was a resolution that that this committee will engage with the relevant stakeholders to determine the most effective way forward on triple BEE in terms of certification costs, etc., Chairperson. So that will be journaled in the agenda or the agenda of the committee going forward, Chairperson. And then, Chair, as well, we've got compliance audits versus performance audits. It was strongly indicated by the committee asking the questions: when can the committee start, or when will the department start looking at, or the various departments at performance audits vis-a-vis compliance audits, Chairperson? And the committee resolved that the Auditor General of South Africa, the Audit Committee, and Provincial Treasury come and present to the committee on how on the state of readiness of performance audits, etc., Chair. Then, Chairperson, as well, there was a transfer of funds from departments to municipalities in the Western Cape that was also highlighted. If I can just make one example, I know that Member Maseko asked a question and Member Medica asked some departments questions about transfers that were made to, for example, Cederberg municipality, etc., etc. So that was also then captured as a transversal resolution, Chairperson. And then the all-time favorite of last year, Chairperson, was very prominent, the componentization of assets, Chair, which the members said so beautifully, alluded to so beautifully last year, Chair. That was also put under the transversal resolutions, Chairperson, that we have Provincial Treasury and some other departments brief this committee on this matter, Chairperson. Chair, then just basically we just had the general findings, Chairperson, that is just basically just saying that the committee met with the Director General, the HODs, the Auditor General, the audit committees, etc., Chairperson, and then basically just that there was one member van der Westhuizen requested that we congratulate the Western Cape Department of Health for achieving a sustained clean audit outcome, Chairperson. Chair, now we're just going into the findings and the resolutions of the committee under each department. Chairperson, as per the standard, what we do every year, Chairperson, this is just the overview, Chair. Like we will say that it achieved a clean audit outcome. The audit opinion was clean. We will go into the financial management, Chairperson, and basically each program expenditure, Chair. And then if there was under expenditure, what was the reasons for the under expenditure, Chairperson? And then, Chairperson, and all of this information is captured in each departmental annual reports, Chairperson. So it's basically just a copy and paste from the departmental annual reports, and just making sure that it is accurate from our side, Chair. Chair, then basically, if we go here, Chair, to the Department of the Premier, we have background concerns. From which page number did the resolutions come from, Chairperson? And then action date, Chairperson. It is basically where we put it in our program for the year, Chair. As you've seen, Chairperson, the program was populated and it was sent to you, Chairperson, and I believe that you're going to table that program as well later on in this meeting, Chair. So, Chairperson, that is basically how each resolution emanates from, Chair. So we have background concerns from where it comes from, or at which page number the question came from. There was an answer given, then there was a resolution that was taken from that page number or from that paragraph on that page number, Chair, and then it's basically just scheduled in the Public Accounts Committee program, Chairperson, for the year forward, Chair. And then list of information for .P, there was none, Chair. There was no request for information. And then the same, Chair, with Provincial Treasury. There was one resolution from page 147, Chair. There's another one, Chair, from page 182, Chairperson. And then there was just one request for information, Chairperson, etc., Chair. I don't know, Chair, if you want me to go through the entire document, Chair. It's quite lengthy. I think there's about 40 odd pages here, Chair, or if the committee is happy just to follow your lead on this document, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honourable members.
Thank you very much. I think in a way you've kind of assisted us in terms of just also refreshing our minds and memories in terms of all the department that we went through. And in any case, the report has been circulated to members. I will really be happy in us maybe just taking it as read, but that was very helpful what you did. But I see Honourable Maseko's hand is up.
Chairperson, thank you very much. I was going to say that I think we received the report. If I can propose that we adopt it as it is.
Thank you very much, Honourable Maseko. As I was indicating that it was kind of also very helpful in kind of refreshing us. And are there any seconder to that proposal? Honourable Nkondlo.
Thank you, Chair. And in principle, Chair, I don't have a problem with the suggested approach to adopt or to take the report as read, and also join you in thanking Dustin for refreshing our minds. And I just wanted to say, Chair, I think one appreciates also the follow-ups that has been done over time in this kind of the issues that we pick up during the annual report period. The individual departments, especially the response time, because one has been able to pick up, how quickly that departments would respond to some of the questions. I would therefore, Chair, further just make the point and note, of some of the engagements that we have requested to clarify matters, and I would think, Chair. One of it is this issue of understanding that National Treasury regulations that had actually impacted on the triple PFA regulations of the court case. I am sure that is a matter that would have waited for the response of National Treasury, which, if my recollection is correct, they were to sort of go back to court with the submission as per court judgment. So I think it's one matter that we need to follow up so that we can be able to understand its implications of what Treasury would have responded to. So that's one issue, Chair, and also other entities that related, I think, to the matters of procurement regulations in government. So with that said, Chair, I would also support Member Maseko to sort of adopt the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honourable Nkondlo. Especially, I think, on the issue of the triple BE, as you have seen there, it was indicated that it's also the Provincial Treasury, I think we also in the one of the resolution we requested the Provincial Treasury as well as the Auditor General. But of course, I think we can even maybe indicate to them that they might even, if it might be good, if they can also invite some members or relevant officials of the National Treasury as well to be present, so that we can get as much information as we can have when we actually be meeting with them. I really don't have a problem with that. And I think then with that, honorable members, I think this report has been adopted. And once again, Mr. Davies has been very helpful as a kind of an institutional memory in terms of refreshing our minds and memories as to how we have actually dealt with the report during October, November. Now, if then that is fine, honorable members, we'll then have to move to the next item, Mr. David.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I see that Member Maseko's hand is up, Chair. If you can just direct me, Chair.
I thought that was a previous hand, Honorable Maseko.
No, it's a legacy hand, Chair. I'm sorry. I'm trying to lower it, but today my laptop.
I know it can be difficult sometimes lowering those hands. And
yeah.
There it goes. Yeah, it's gone.
Thank you very much. Somebody lowered it. I appreciate you, whoever who lowered it. I'll tell you.
You have been assisted.
I'll tell you when I want it to be raised again. Thank you very much.
Not a problem, Honorable Maseko. Chairperson, then basically, Chair, it is Chair. Are you able to see the draft quarterly report for the second quarter, July to September?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Chair, Chair, this is just the committee's Chair, this is the committee's activities that it had for last year, July to September, Chairperson. As per the norm, Chair, excuse me for going so quick, Chairperson. It's basically just a mandate, as we have it in all of our quarterly reports, Chairperson. What's our mandate? And it's from Standing Rule 101, Chairperson. What's the mandate of the Public Accounts Committee, Chairperson? And then, Chairperson, it's basically again all the departments that's basically that basically came to or that is reporting to the committee, Chair. Chair, during the second period, for the overview, during the second period, the committee engaged with the Department of Human Settlements, as well as the committee had an in-committee meeting to discuss administrative issues, Chair. So the 29th of July, Chairperson, if you can recall, just to refresh your memory, this was a virtual meeting, Chair. And I believe that you were still on the airport on that time when we had, because you were on parliamentary business, and then you were on the airport when we had this meeting for the Friday, the 29th of July, Chairperson. So this was basically, Chairperson, just a this was, we had one resolution which we requested the request for information, and the department gave us a report, Chairperson, and then it was circulated last year, September, the end of September. This was circulated to the members, Chair, of this committee. Chairperson, then the 24th of August, it was an in-committee meeting, Chairperson. If you can remember, it was just to discuss the annual report process. And then, Chairperson, as well, Chair, we have discussed the intended visit to Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal legislatures, public accounts committees, Chair. And I don't know if you can remember, Chair, but in the annual report meeting last year, our last meeting that was in November, the 4th of November, the committee actually decided that we should go in this year, Chairperson, early in this year, Chairperson. So, Chairperson, just for me, for logistical purposes, Chair, I will just need the direction of yourself and the committee in making in establishing dates and when the committee wants to visit Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal's Public Accounts Committee's, Chairperson. So that was basically just that meeting, Chairperson. There was all the attendees of those meeting, Chairperson. Everyone was in the meeting, and then for the 24th, we just had one apology from Member van der Westhuizen, but Member Fry stood in for Member van der Westhuizen, Chair. Then basically There was no meetings postponed, no legislation. The Public Accounts Committee don't deal with legislation like other standing committees. Oversight visits, Chairperson. Chair, there was only that one meeting that we had, Chair, the one meeting, the APEC conference, Chair, in Durban, 15th to the 17th, Chairperson. And there's the cost, Chairperson. On the other, it was 57,000, say 58,000, Chair. And then as well, Chair, you attended the APAC Exco from the 28th to the 29th of July, Chair, at this cost of 9,600 Rand logistics, Chairperson. And then, Chairperson, the allocation for up until the second quarter was 63,000. The committee spent 67,000, Chair, and there was a negative balance of 4,300, Chair. But in the third quarter report, Chairperson, there was a reallocation to this committee, Chair, which will actually see a positive balance, Chairperson, at the end of the third quarter, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Or do you want me to proceed to the third quarter as well, Chair? Or do you
Please,
just want to?
let's deal with all the reported ones,
Okay.
and then if there are comments or points of clarity or questions from members, we'll allow them.
Not a problem, Chair. Chair, then, Chair, if I can just go up, Chair, thank you. This is for the third quarter. This is the annual report meetings that we had, Chairperson, October to December. Chair, once again, the mandate for the third quarter, 13 departments and the respective entities on the 2021-22 financial year annual reports, Chair. Chair, here's all of our meetings, Chair. As you saw in the report that was just adopted, Chair, there was resolutions that was captured, Chairperson, how many members attended, how many departmental officials attended, Chair, and yes, basically all of our meetings, Chairperson, that we had. If you can remember, Chair, we were supposed to have the 17th of August. Human settlements was supposed to be between the 11th of October and the 14th of October. But the department and the minister requested if we can have it the Monday, the 17th. So it was moved there, Chair. And I've also indicated it at the end where it asked if there's any meetings that was postponed, Chairperson. So, Chair, these are basically all of our meetings as the members know up until the 4th of November, Chair. Chair, these are all of the from our minutes, and Chair, just for a note to yourself, Chair. Normally in the meetings, Chair, I will have. So what we have is we have a system for Scopa, Chair, where I will note in my book, in my minute book, I will note who's all of the members in the meeting, Chair, for even the members that come late. Sometimes in the meeting due to unforeseen circumstances, I will note it in my book, Chair. And then as well is Masintle, she will have all of the members signing in the register, Chairperson. So that's a double check. Just for Member Maseko, I know that Member Maseko is normally very pedantic about these apologies. Member Maseko, this was basically for the SATCO PAC training that was or conference that was at the Western Hotel. So that was when you basically gave when you attended these meetings, Member Maseko. Just for your noting, Member Maseko, because I know that Member Maseko will ask, why was I?
Repeat again. You said there's an apologies because I was where?
Member yes, because Member Maseko, you were at that SATCO PAC or some training member. It was a conference that was at the Western Hotel.
Oh, it was the
there
CPA,
we go.
The
there
CPA.
we go. Yes, it was a CPI member. So that was for that member. And then as well, and then there was other members as well that alternate members that basically additional members, should I say, that basically also just attended some meetings now and then, etc. Then, as I say, for the 13th of October, for the Department of Human Settlements, Chair, that meeting was moved to the 17th of October due to scheduling and availability challenges, Chair. But we did have that meeting. The 13th of October was scheduled to the 17th of October, Chairperson. Chair, once again, there's no legislation that we deal with. There was no oversight visits. There was no interprovincial visits, no international study tour visits. Chairperson, here it comes to the budget, Chair. We were reallocated, Chairperson, with adjustments. We were reallocated a budget of 169. Then we spent 72,000, Chair, say 73,000, and that left us with a positive balance of 97, say 97,000, Chair, if you round it off. Chair, then just the 24th to the 29th, Chairperson, the committee was invited to attend the SATCOPAC conference in Botswana. But as you remember, Chairperson, and the rest of the members, that the committee was busy engaging with the departments on the annual reports, and the committee could not attend due to the scheduling of the annual report meetings, Chairperson. And then, Chairperson, there was there was from APAC, that's now called SAPAC, South African Association of Public Accounts Committees. There was an AG roadshow on the PFMA audit outcomes, and that was held on the 24th of November, Chair, and the committee attended virtually. And then again, Chair, there was another EXCO meeting, the 12th to the 13th of December for yourself, but you could not make a Chairperson because the service providers, if you can remember, Chair, could not secure flight tickets. All three service providers that we normally ask, they could not procure flight tickets, Chairperson, which resulted that you could not attend, Chair, and you also indicated that you had other commitments in the Western Cape as well, Chairperson. So, Chair, that is for the second and the third quarter committee activities report, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. Honorable members, there was the reports, those were the reports that were presented of both the second and the third quarter. Are there any comments or any suggestions or any questions, points of clarity? Honorable Maseko?
No comment, no clarity, just the move that we adopt the report.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko. Any seconder to that?
I second it, Chair.
Thank you very much, and therefore duly accepted and adopted. Mr. David, the next item, I see it's supposed to be resolution. You don't want us to, can we also put in the issues of SAPEC?
Chairperson, can we, if it pleases you, Chairperson, and the committee members, can we perhaps maybe just resolve perhaps, or just consider on the minutes of the annual report meetings, Chairperson? Is that in order with you, Chair? And
yes,
then
we'll put that
yes,
all behind us. That's fine.
There we go, Chair. Yes, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair and members. Chairperson and members, basically, we have 13 sets of minutes. As is indicated normally, only for the annual report, Chairperson and members, only for the annual report period, for those 13 meetings, we have minutes. But Chairperson, so there's all of the members that was present, etc. And then we have the departmental for each meeting, Chairperson. But Chairperson, it is basically just to indicate that there were meetings, that the Auditor General briefed us, that the Audit Committee briefed the committee, and that there was discussions, Chairperson, on the annual report of each department for 2021-2022 financial year, Chair. Chair, for the resolutions and the actions, and this is for all of the 13 minutes, Chairperson, all of them, it's got the same format. All that changes, Chairperson, if I can just go up, is just who was present on the day. So if I can just indicate, it's basically just the departmental name that changes, Chair. It's the date and the time and the venue that changes, Chair, and it's basically all who were present, Chairperson, as indicated in the quarterly reports that was adopted now, Chair. Then, Chairperson, this from number 1 to number 5 of all of the minutes is the same, Chairperson. Because, Chairperson, with the resolutions, it's in the report that we just adopted, Chairperson. This is basically just to indicate that the committee had meetings for each respective department. So, as per our normal meeting, Chair, for example, of today, it's not the annual report meeting, Chair. So if there's going to be any resolutions or actions that the committee must do, then it will be captured specifically during the year under this, Chairperson. So, Chair, this is for all of the minutes, Chair. There's the public attendance register, copied and pasted. I can just show you another, just another indication, Chair, for Friday the 14th of October. We had the Western Cape Education Department. Here's all the members that was present. There was an additional member, etc., alternate members. And then Chairperson, once again, welcome in attendance. Briefing by the Auditor General for WCD, briefing by Audit Committee for WCD, discussion with Minister Meinier and the Head of Department, Mr. Brent Walters. There was a page-to-page discussion. The resolutions, again, it's captured in the Public Accounts Committee reports, Chairperson, and then just what time the meeting ended, Chair. And once again, Chair, here is our public attendance register for that meeting. Chair, this is basically the format for all of the 13 minutes, Chairperson. There's only 1 minute, Chair. If I may just highlight it, this was, Chair, if I can just make it a little bit bigger. This was just for Monday, the 17th of October, Chair. It was for human settlements. And we had where Member Maseko nominated Member America. And then Chair, Member America was duly elected as the acting chairperson on that day, Chair, because you had also transportation issues, Chair, on that day to attend the meeting. And then once again, Auditor General briefed the committee, the Audit Committee briefed the committee. There was discussion page by page on the Department of Human Settlements. And then Chairperson, once again, the resolution and actions, it's captured in the Public Accounts Report. And what time the meeting finished, Chairperson. Member America, he was the acting chairperson, Chair. And then there is our public attendance register of the departmental officials, etc., Chairperson. Chair, that is basically, Chair, the format of all of our minutes for all of the 13 meetings, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. Honorable Maseko.
Chairperson, thank you very much, Mr. Dustin Davids. I propose we adopt all the minutes of the committees for the annual reports as presented to us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko. As we normally say, we take the minutes as read, and therefore, Honorable Maseko has proposed that we adopt Honorable America.
Chairperson, having listened to Mr. Davids and the structure of the minutes and the proposal now by my colleague, I would like to second the proposal by Honorable Maseko.
Thank you very much, Honorable America. Then the next item, Mr. David.
Yes, Chairperson. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Thank you very much, members. Chair, this is just a draft committee program, Chair. Chair, this was circulated to you last year, but you indicated that you would like the members just to see what is so far, just thus far, Chair, planned for this year, Chairperson. So, Chairperson, as per your request, the end of last year, December, Chair, it is now in front of the committee, Chairperson. If you can see the draft committee program, Chair, I've just changed it yesterday to the 6th of February, Chair, to make it more up-to-date, Chair. If I can continue, are you fine with that, Chair?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honourable members. So today we have just our report, Chair, and then our various committee documents, Chairperson, that we're adopting. Chairperson, then for the, sorry, this mouse is very fast, Chair. The 22nd of February, Chairperson. Chair, I've put it in for the parliamentary chamber, Chair, for the time being. As you know, Chairperson and members, this is just a draft program. It will change during the year as the members propose new resolutions, new oversight resolutions. So it will always, this is a living document that will always change, Chair, as per the resolutions of the members per meeting, Chairperson, meeting by meeting. Chair, then we have for the 22nd of February, Chair, we have the briefing by the Department of the Premier, Chair. This is from the annual report that we just adopted, Chair, the resolutions, Chair, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. And then, Chair, just to 2.4 is the Provincial Forensic Services. They normally come brief us quarterly on their forensic investigations in the various departments, Chairperson. Chair, then for the 4th of April, Chair, because March, Chair, we have the Western Cape Appropriations Bill, Chairperson, and there's also, most times there's legislation that is being considered by various standing committees in March, Chairperson. So, Chair, for the 4th of April, Chair, then we got Provincial Treasury once again from the committee's annual report, a report that was just adopted. Here is the resolutions for Provincial Treasury, Chairperson, 2.1 and 2.2. Then for the 13th of April, Chair, we have the Audit Committee of the Department of Social Development, Chair. Just the resolutions of the Department of Social Development that we just adopted, Chair. It is basically just what it was just basically, it's populated now, Chair. And then for the 19th of April, Chair, we have the Audit Committee again, and they come for the Department of Human Settlements again. And that was the resolutions that was for the Department of Human Settlements when we engaged the department on their 2021-22 annual report, Chairperson. 26th of April, Chair, we have the Auditor General and the Education Department on how it can move towards a clean audit outcome, and then the spin on the impact, Chairperson, and then as well as how the department, the Auditor General will deal with the audit findings in order to mitigate the future recurrence of an unqualified audit outcome. And then seeing that we do have the Auditor General in the meeting, Chairperson, they will also come with the Audit Committee and Provincial Treasury on the state of readiness of performance audits, Chairperson, and then as well as that componentization of assets, Chairperson. Chairperson, that's it, Chair. Then from April onwards, Chair, then we will basically just look on the resolutions for the entities, Chair. There's not a lot, there's only a few, but that will be populated between April and June, Chair. And then also, Chair, from there onwards, Chair, it will be any other resolutions that the committee makes between now and June. We will populate that in the program, Chair, for August and September before the annual report starts again in October and November this year, Chair. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Davids. There you have it, honorable members. That was just for information, as Mr. Davids has indicated that he had actually drafted this as of towards the end of last year, but I just felt that in view of us working as a collective, it will also be good that you can also have a look at it, and if there are any suggestions or input you want to make on it, we can have it, and then we just adopt it as our annual program of how we are going to see the departments. For now, of course, it might not be cast in stone. There might be changes now and then as we go along, but then if there are any of those changes, you will be timeously informed about them. There you got it, honorable members. As I said, that it's just for information, unless you do have any comments. If there are no comment on it, honorable members, I want to check then, Mr. Davids, if there's any issues you would like to raise for us for information regarding SAPEC.
Chairperson, yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you, honourable members. Chair, this is basically just for administrative purposes, Chair, and thank you for indicating that this matter should be raised at this meeting, Chairperson. Chair, as you are aware, Chair, that the Secretary General of SAPEC. Oh, the Member Kondlo's hand is up, Chair, through you.
Honourable Nkondlo.
No, Chair, Dustin can continue. I just have an issue outside of what he's raising once it's done, but I just want to get clarity on.
Okay, thank you very much, honourable member. You can continue, Mr. Davids.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, it's basically, Chair, where they want to have a SATCO PAC conference, Chair. It's basically, Chair, the Secretary General requested that the Cape Town component, that is us, Chair, and then the Durban component, that's the KwaZulu-Natal legislature, if they can indicate if there's appropriate venues, etc. And then the EXCO, they will then decide where the SATCO pack, they will feed back to SATCO pack, and then it will be decided between September and November where the SATCO pack conference is going to be held, either in Cape Town or in KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban, Chairperson. Chair, I must still find out from the other colleagues at National Parliament, Chairperson, if they are aware of it, Chair, because I do know that it was always discussed that if a SATCO pack conference should come to Cape Town, that National Parliament, they will run with it because they have the funds and they have the manpower, they have the staff to run with the, Chairperson. So that is that matter, Chairperson. And then, Chairperson, there was a communication that basically came through, Chair, and the communication was forwarded to Member America as a Chairperson for local government oversight. Basically, where they want SAPAC wants to revitalize the NAMPAC structures, Chair. Now, Chair and honourable members, as you know, that we are the only legislature that has that basically where our SCOPA does not directly engage with the municipalities. And the rest of the other legislatures, the other 8 legislatures, they do that, Chairperson. So, Chair, that communication was forwarded to Member America last week when I received that email. Is basically where they looking for assistance in the raising or the reestablishment, the revitalization of the NAMPAC structures in each province with the assistance of each legislature, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. But also maybe if I might just add on some of the issues you raised regarding SAPAC. And I think also what is outstanding is the issue of the conference, because you know that the conference that was held in Joburg was not finished, and there was a resolution that it's actually going to be continued. But I know that there was a discussion around it at the meeting I could not attend in December. But I am still engaging with the General Secretary as to when will the finalization of that conference is going to be. As soon as I've got some indication of a report, I will definitely inform the members accordingly. And also on the issue of the SADCOPEC conference, they've identified Durban and Cape Town, and therefore they've sent correspondence to chairpersons of both of these SCOPA
jurisdictions.
Yes, SCOPA jurisdiction. And what I did, I subsequently forwarded that communication to the Office of the Speaker, because they are normally the people that are also assisting in that regard. But also you were correct that when that SADCOPEC is being organized, it's always normally the responsibility of national government. We don't contribute anything financially or otherwise. The only contribution that we make is just the availability of our staff component in terms of assisting with the issues of the drafting of papers and all the other logistical arrangement. Otherwise, the whole event becomes the event of the national government. But of course, as I've said, I've also forwarded that to the Office of the Speaker, because they are normally the people that will actually give guidance in that regard. So I just thought that I must just add on that. I know Honorable Nkondlo's hand was up. I don't know whether it's going to be on this matter. If it's not going to be on this matter, I see Honorable Matlodi's hand is also up. Let me first hear Honorable Nkondlo.
Chair, it's not on this matter because I wouldn't have anticipated the report. But I would raise my hand after Matlodi. just to make an input based on what Dustin has just presented.
Thank you very much. Honorable Maseko.
Thank you very much. Chair, I think it's not about the SARS COPEC or because as long as it has, we are not contributing financially, that is for the leadership to deal with that. It's not our baby per se, but I mean, with the support staff, we do be another thing. What I wanted to find out is for the issue of the I hear Dustin saying that the other legislatures are working with the MPEC, with the local governments, and it's only us. So does he have something maybe that he knows that is empowering them to work in that fashion so that he can share with us and we can look at that in moving forward to check what is empowering those legislatures to be able to access the local government MPECs.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko. That's noted, and I think Mr. Davids will assist in that regard. Thank you, Honorable Nkonzo.
Yes, Chair. As if Member Maseko read my mind, because I was going to ask what would be the reason why there is a differentiated approach in the Western Cape. Is it a legislative matter? Is actually a legislative premise that excludes Western Cape engagement with municipalities on these matters. So I want to support, perhaps Mr. Davis can answer that so that at least we've got a comprehensive understanding of the limitations in law, but also perhaps if maybe these are just matters of practice which do not necessarily have any legislative reference. So for me, that's the issue, because what I was gonna ask, Chair, which is not necessarily related to what he's saying, is that coming from the oversight that we recently went in as a cluster, I think from human settlements engagement with the Knysna municipality, one was actually taken aback to consider what was discussed there about capacity to the MSCOA there, which was raised by the chairperson. And actually, I wanted to then understand what then becomes our relationship, with the MSCOA in the municipalities in trying to understand all of these matters, because up until this ecosystem is able to function, we may find ourselves, being in a situation where one level is pointing fingers at the other, whilst we are all part of the value chain, and we always need to be a bit, to the fact that, we are interrelated one way or the other. So my actual question, although indirect to what we are discussing, was emanating from that oversight, because I then thought, I wonder how many other sort of public accounts at municipal level are suffering a similar fate to what the chair raised in Knysna, which actually is being corrected now, to enable those committees, public accounts committees at municipal level to do their work efficiently, so that at least we can also improve, some of the negative findings that you may find in some of the municipalities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kondlo. That was Pito municipality, not Knysna. I remember exactly what you are actually referring to. Yes. I think now, I think having had a request that maybe it can be something that we can maybe put properly on our agenda at our next meeting, as to whether what role, and having heard the report from Mr. David, to find out from as to whether what can be our role in assisting this MPEC, and maybe if we are not doing it, what might have been the cause, or maybe what are the challenges really more than the cause, as to, because as Honorable Ngondlev said, MPECs also are falling in, they are part of our accountability ecosystem. If there's anything we can do to assist in having seamless accountability processes, let's see what we can do. But I think if we can just maybe put it as an item at our next item. But I will also in the meantime interact, but I know also this might be a transversal issue which cutting across through local government as well. And maybe I will also maybe interact with Honorable America as well in the process. You might find out that department might also be having their some form of assistance or activities that they were having regarding that matter. But then we will maybe at our next meeting, Mr. Davis, you might supply us with some info so that we can take the discussion further. Honorable Maseko.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I'm in agreement with you. But I'm thinking we have to go to, this is the new thing that we are going to explore. So let's go to the foundation. We get Mr. Davis to check what is empowering another legislatures, 1. 2, we need to get to also SALGA to engage with them, to hear from them what is their responsibilities in empowering those MPEC members in different municipalities. So we need to sort of ourselves create a template if we are going to start now and say that we, in our ecosystem, we do have MPEC, we have to engage with them. But that has to be based on the legislation, what does it say, or the policy, what does it say for us in forging that relationship with the MPECs in the municipalities. And also to go further, because we can go to each and every municipality to engage with the MPEC, but when coming to the resolutions or recommendations, what are we going to do? So we need to check everything that if we engage with them, how do we assist or how do we engage, and then the outcomes if we have to do the recommendation or if we have to take the resolution, what is going to empower us for that to be implemented? So if we can attend to that basic, then when we hit the ground running, we know we've got the tools of trade to go out there to engage with the municipalities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko. Fully agree with your proposal. I think Mr. David has taken note of that. Honorable Sileko.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. No, Chair, I'm not going to repeat what Member Ngondle and Member Maseko was saying. I think when you've taken a decision that we should put it on the next agenda, but what is very much important is that it will assist us very much if we look at what is currently happening in other provinces and what is it that is allowing them to actually to intervene. I think our approach would be not to interfere in another sphere of government, but like Member Ngondle has been saying, is just to strengthen these particular MPECs. I think that should be our approach. So whatever information Mr. Davis will be looking at, it should be the sole purpose of making sure that we as the province have a role in terms of strengthening these MPECs, making sure that proper assistance is given and proper guidance is given to them so that we can actually assist them. I think that should be the approach, not to interfere, but just to make sure that whatever work we'll be doing is to make sure that we strengthen their hand in making sure that there is financial viability in these particular municipalities. Thank you very much, Chair.
Chairperson, are you? I don't see. Is the chairperson kicked out of the meeting?
Yes, it looks like it, Member Maseko. I'm just trying to call the chairperson in again quickly.
Okay.
I'm just trying to call him in. I'm just sending the link again to the chairperson, but perhaps the chairperson can join in from his Gmail account or something, members.
If it can be that he cannot connect again, what are we going to do? Are we going to elect the chair to continue with the meeting, or you are going to continue with the meeting?
Honorable members, that was basically the whole agenda item for this meeting, Honorable Maseko. So there's actually nothing more to discuss. There's all of the agenda items has been exhausted, members. Member Maseko and members can just from an administrative point of view on this matter that you guys that the honorable members alluded to now on the impacts and stuff and cooperative governance and working together, etc. Can I request members that I do procedural advice on the matter, and then basically with that also, there's a chairperson logging in now, members, and then basically there from there on seek our legal advocate Leroux and Maasdorp, and maybe see if there is something that they would want to add to the procedural advice from a legal point of view, even though the procedural advice that I will render on paper, that will also be looking at legal cases and oversight from the province and assisting municipalities, etc. Is that in order with the members? Members?
Honorable members, my apologies. I got some network problem, but I'm back on track.
Yeah.
I think I've managed to follow the discussions. Are there any?
Can I?
Yes, Honorable Matlodi.
Yeah, thank you. Dustin, I think it's what I was proposing, that we need to find out the procedural and the legal aspect of that what is it that we can. So that is appreciated if you capture that. And also another one that I want to bring to the attention of the members is the issue of that I want to propose. The issue of the, what do we call ourselves now? APEC, what do we call it? SAPEC?
SAPEC.
Yeah, SAPEC now. I'm proposing that as long as we don't have the financials for that organization, because that is another one that is the skeletons in the closet that we are not bringing it out. Can we communicate with the speaker to stop the membership until we can get the financials, because we cannot continue throwing the money into the organization while we haven't received the financials for the last, I don't know how many years now. Chair, you can help me. Is it 5 or 7? Dustin, you will know. I don't know how many years now that we haven't received it. So that is my proposal.
Thank you, Honorable Maseko. Honorable Kondo, your hand is still up?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Please
Chair,
go ahead, Honorable Member.
Yes, I concur with what Justin has raised, because I think in also in anticipation or response to what Member Seleko is saying, I think both the legal, procedural, and also that practice would actually help us to understand, because what we're trying to seek is what is legislatively our role and our mandate. You know, what is our constitutional imperatives, and obviously from a cooperative governance, what is it that requires us to participate or not? Why that practice in other provinces, so that indeed, as Member Seleko is cautioning, that we are not interfering. The intention should be to try and strengthen, because we do not want, when we go to any oversight, we find that in our midst, there are weaknesses in the municipalities' public accounts sort of system. So I would fully concur with Justin to do the procedural and the legal consultation in that regard, and actually your ruling, Chair, that the matter be ventilated in the next meeting when those are ready for us to engage. The next one, in the proposal of Member Maseko, I think in the conference that one has attended, I'm not necessarily that much privy because I'm not that active in this particular space. But I think for me, what will be important in taking that particular decision is that I'm not sure in our communique as this particular parliament, have we at any stage, and I'm saying recently, just communicated that given, as what Member Maseko is raising, given our repetitive requests, of these financial statements as a parliament, we would be pursuing or we are taking the decision, in the absence of this information being given to us, is there something of that nature that has happened? Or with what Member Maseko is suggesting is that we must just pull the plug at this point after this matter got ventilated in that conference that one has attended. Just while I was seeking clarity there, Chair. Thanks.
Thanks, Honorable Nkondlo. Honorable Maseko, is that the previous hand, or you wanted to?
Yeah, I wanted to maybe give clarity to or maybe to respond to Member Nkondlo. So we have been attending the APEC before it was COPEC. We've been attending the meetings, and that was one issue that we've been raising again and again. And the past years, I think before COVID, the reason was that there were new leadership from the past leadership, and it was they moved their offices and some documents they can't find. And there's been the reasons that in principle doesn't make sense, but it was the reasons on that point in time that it was acceptable to the majority, even though there were few that, like myself, that never agreed to that. Now, we thought that now the structure is going, we were saying that now the structure is up and running, and the leadership promised like, now that the structure is up and running, then when we have the AGM, the financials will be there, blah, 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 blah. But the same, now it was a narrated financials. There's no financial. We don't know who's paying the membership, who's not paying the membership. And the constitution is clear that if you are the legislature that doesn't pay, you cannot be on the structure of this organization because you are not part of it through the membership. So it's been going on, and the reasons behind it, we've been attending. It started with when Masi was on the local government, not on local government, then the other members were on SCOPA and I was on SCOPA also. It's at the end, it seems like it doesn't add value if the APEC itself cannot, or SACOPEC cannot itself have the financials, but we are saying we can have the NPEC. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Maseko. Honorable Nkondlo, is that an old hand, or is it wanting to make a point again?
Chair, I don't want this to be a dialogue because I think it's a suggestion that is with the committee. Make a decision from the proposal of Member Maseko. Now, by implication in what she's saying, informed by our reasoning, as this particular parliament not to continue the payments? Do we then, with the same breath of what he was raising, disqualify ourselves to participate in this particular structure? Because if she says those that are not paying are not supposed to participate in the structure, which is something that has not been complied with by the current structure, in as far as I'm not sure whether the people that are not paying, which are creating some of the challenges, if there is any, in relation to the financial statements that are not being produced. So I'm just trying to then look at whether if we make that decision as this particular parliament, does it automatically mean, or can that be looked at or result in us disqualifying ourselves to participate, and what are the implications thereof?
Thank you very much, Honorable Kondlo. Just before I may make my comment on this and maybe provide some guidance on the way forward on this particular issue, Mr. David, do you know when is normally our due date for us to pay this subscription? Is it in? It's in?
Yeah, Chairperson, they will normally, SAPAC, they normally email us here March,
Okay.
April month. As soon
So
as they,
Yeah, as things stand, we are a member in good standing because we are fully paid up.
Oh, yes, Chair.
Now,
Yeah, sorry, Chair. But, Chair, we are the first legislature every year to pay as soon as, as soon as we get that invoice, we immediately send it for payment. So they get paid the very same week when they send that invoice to us, Chair.
Yes, no, I know that the reason I'm asking is because we seem to be dealing with this item now in bits and pieces. If you recall, on the issue of when we dealt with SAPEC, I said I said that at our next meeting, let's have a standing item that deals with issues of SAPEC. There can be many others, but also among others, I think let's also deal with this item as well, so that we don't just deal with it in an incoherent and in an unprepared manner. Let's bring up an item, and then just is going to deal with SAPEC and also our subscription, and also maybe by that time we will have known when is the next conference is going to be as well, because I remember very well at that conference, SAPEC, that SAPEC conference in Durban, said that there must be a continuation and a finalization of that conference. But obviously, there was a meeting that was held of the EXCO in December, which I could not attend, as you have alluded, due to flight reason. And also maybe it might have been a blessing in disguise, because at that very Monday, there was a special sitting of council of the House where it was the election of the Speaker. So there were quite a number of reasons that I also could not attend. But up to now, we have not received the minutes. Then they might have been sent, but I'm going to request them so that also at our next meeting, when we meet with dealing with the issue of SAPEC, there can be also some resolution from that EXCO as well that I can present as well. Then at that meeting, then at our next meeting, we can ventilate further on the matter and also around our status on the issue of SAPEC. If members agreed with that, then that will mean that we'll be able to have enough time to deal with this issue on our next meeting, because otherwise now we are just dealing with it on a piecemeal basis without maybe even a proper report in front of us. So if that is agreeable, honorable members, I don't know whether are there any specific resolution. I think that should be the next item now, Mr. David, on the agenda. I see Honorable Maseko's hand is up.
Yeah, Chair, I will follow with what you are saying, but I need to maybe request that just for in case. I mean, we are talking about the experience that we had. Just for in case, when you get the report, because we were not there December, you don't get the report about what's going to happen with the financials. Can I propose in this committee that you communicate with the executive of which you are part of, that if there's nothing that is talking about the finances before the date of the renewal, Western Cape, we are going to hold until we can get the finance. We cannot throw in a pit the money that we have been throwing in, but we don't know what is being used for.
Thank you, Honorable Maseko. I see Honorable Nkondlo's hand is up. I was just gonna respond to Honorable Maseko, but before I respond to Honorable Maseko, I see Honorable Nkondlo's hand is up.
No, Chair, I was going to say, Member Maseko's point that she's raising in context to your ruling is out of order, because the matter you have concluded and ruled on that we shall debate the matters of SACAP, including the issues of our membership to that particular structure, which I think the suggestion that she is making is well poised to be discussed in that meeting, and the committee be able to ventilate and consider her proposal that she is advocating. So I just didn't want to call for order, because the ruling is made that the matter it will be sitting in the next SCOPA meeting, which I'm sure is going to be before any meeting of this structure we're talking about. So let's leave it there so that we all are ventilating the matters based on the information that we'll receive, and indeed not isolate this particular point about fees to the business of say SACAP or SACOP chair that we're discussing. Thanks.
Thanks, Honorable Nkondlo. Thanks. You see, I was just worried. I was happy when Honorable Maseko was putting down her hand, because I'm wary of this issue now has become a kind of what do you call a dialogue between Honorable Maseko and Honorable Nkondlo. But safe to say, honorable members, can I request that before we may take an item, otherwise I don't want us to sound as if we are actually blackmailing SAPEC on the matter, that we are using the issue of, I know the issue of the monies and the issue of the subscription was well ventilated at our last conference, to a point whereby there were some jurisdiction that were alleged that they were behind, but then when it was raised and there was proof that was submitted, that it was realized that some of the allegation that were made there regarding the non-payment or payment of subscription were wrong. So the issue of subscription was well ventilated there, but also as things stand, we are a member, because I know, as Mr. Davies has said, that the next round of payment is gonna be around March or April, which is enough time for us to actually consider, because we must also consider, honorable members, if we don't pay subscription, that means we are not members. Therefore, we cannot even begin to demand that we are going to attend their conferences or attend their issues, because we will actually not be members. So that's why I will request that. I think our next meeting, Mr. David, is still now in February.
Yes, Chair, the 22nd of Feb, Chair.
22nd of Feb, which is in about 2 weeks' time. Then we put this item there, and then we ventilate on it as much as we can. Otherwise, we are going to be very incoherent now, because there is no proper report or in front of us. We even said to them that we wanted the financial statement, audited financial statement, and hopefully that then when I get this report, we might even have had those audited financial statement. We have everything about SAPEC and we ventilate on it. And at that meeting, we can take a resolution and say that, look, in view of every information that is in front of us that we have received, we feel aggrieved, and therefore we are going to be actually withholding our subscription until such time these issues that we are raising have been resolved. Can we agree, honorable members, we ventilate on the matter at our next meeting, which is going to be on the 22nd, and then from there we can take a resolution that say that we are not going to continue with our membership or payment of our subscription until what we have until such time that this matter that we are raising with SAPEC has been attended to or resolved to. Honorable Maseko.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with you. Member Gondel saying out of order is not correct at all, because you, like you did now, after you said that, you said you hope we agree all. So you are giving us an option of whether to agree with you or not. So I don't understand if I respond to what you said, when she says I'm out of order, what does it mean? Because I was listening to you. You gave us the option. You didn't say I'm closing this matter. The way forward is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Again, honorable members, without us laboring the point, can we agree? Honorable Gondlo, let me just try and summarize what I think we must take. Can I, as I said that, let's have an item on SAPAC, because we've agreed our next meeting is in 2 weeks' time. And 2 weeks' time, I think we can wait, and in 2 weeks' time, there can be a lot of information we can get around SAPEC, around a lot of things as well. So now, at that meeting, when we've got all the issues at hand, we can take a decision whether we think that based on this information, we are satisfied or we are not satisfied. And therefore, as an indication of our dissatisfaction, we are going to consider not continuing with our subscription. We will have been taking this decision based on an informed position. Thank you very much, Honorable Maseko and Honorable Ngondlo. Honorable Sileko.
No, thank you very much, Chair. I didn't want to be the burger or the cheese between the hamburgers. I was just listening to the members. I think, Chair, what is important that for us not to engage on a fruitless exercise when we meet within the next 2 weeks. I think it would be very important for us to send a communique to this particular structure, requesting information that will assist us in terms of engaging and in terms of coming to a resolution. So, because it would not assist us to have a meeting, because let's say for argument's sake, the information that we need for this particular meeting, we don't receive it within the next 2 weeks. We cannot continue with that item in that particular day. And I'm avoiding us engaging and repeating what we are saying here based off lack of information. So we must be specific in terms of what is it that we are looking for and by when we want it, so that when we come to the meeting, we have all the relevant information and then we can engage, taking it from there. Just in support of your recommendation, Chair, I just thought I should raise those issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seleko. My understanding, honorable members, that information or no information, we are going to correspond to them that look, because there are a lot of other things that they would like to correspond on them. But whether we have that information or not, we are going to have an item about them, and we'll have had enough time also to ruminate and also think more about the issues around SAPEC on our next meeting, on that next meeting on the 22nd. So, honorable members, if we can leave at that, and I think, honorable members, now, if there are no further resolution on some of the issues that we have taken, we have actually discussed at this meeting, I would like us to come to the end of the meeting. Are there any issues that you'd like to have as resolutions? If they are not, let me make use of the opportunity to thank you, honorable members, for a very fruitful and good meeting at the beginning. That is our first meeting in the year 2023. And once again, we are looking forward to working together amicably as we are actually expediting our role and responsibility of holding the executive accountable. Thank you very much, honorable members. The meeting is closed.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair and
Thank you,
members.
Chair.
Enkosi Sihlalo.